Alright, I'll just be recording this back to back from the last one while it's actually uploading, just to make my life easier. So, currently, I did say I would be getting those 2 extra machines for the buildings we're making. Just gonna get that out of the way before I forget. That should be perfectly fine. We are at a food deficit, so we should upgrade this right now. It should be okay. We will need more machinery for it though. Just gonna buy it now before I forget. As for selling, we'll just dump some rare metals on the market and call it a day. There's definitely some sort of enemy presence over here. I think it's on this non-aligned tile, personally. Gonna gamble. Yep, it's on the non-aligned tile. Wait, the free fork. Okay. So, as one can see, we cannot zone of control these major regime tiles. Their behavior is also called, probably to do with their ideological makeup. Regimes will be very happy to fight you if you don't have the same ideology. And the leading faction will also have a different personality. I was scrapping those major cards, those covered up cards, for supporting factions. You could try to do that. I've never really had that much success with it. It's just not really worth it, in my opinion. So currently, yeah, just need to pass the turn to get rid of the rebels. Not really much going on right now. I don't want to start building anything in these zones because our logistics are already pretty strained. How the logistics work in regards to resources is all of the resources gathered in your country are manually transported to the location of your SHQ, the capital, and then they get transported to where stuff actually needs to be built, unless the extraction point and the use point is the same city. And this place doesn't actually have any extraction, so it will have to ship metal all the way here. Things like fuel industrial points and water are abstracted because it is assumed they use pipes. Energy too is assumed to use power lines, so it doesn't take any logistics to transport to cities. And industrial points are themselves an abstraction, so it wouldn't make much sense in that case. This unit can't move because of no action points. I'll just pass the turn. Whenever in doubt, just pass the turn and it should all be fine. It's definitely a different perspective from multiplayer because in multiplayer you just sit there and you have time to dilly-dally around 20 minutes and figure out exactly everything you need to do and what's best to do. But in a single player game, it's also quite easy for them to blend together. The militia stack I moved up is pretty weak, so it got attacked. Worker rights. Which is not great. But it doesn't matter because it wasn't not strong in the first place. This rebel stack, I'll do my best to encircle it. And then I'll smash into it with everything I've got. As you can see, the camp teams and the spotter drones are assisting the artillery. There we go. Completely wiped. Now, those rebels were part of the population of the city. Not great. But they just straight up lose population right there. This is a nice little event that's flavor more than anything, and you can just pick a nifty choice that gives you more of the profile you like. Here's the mine all coming along quite perfectly because we didn't manage to hire all the workers necessary in the same turn. So everything, well, only the mine will actually be offset, which is good. With the next truck station, we'll have more logistical points. Hopefully, it'll be enough. And the agri-dome got delayed too, partially. We know what regime this is. It's a farmer regime. That means we are free to push into it perfectly fine. Start moving everything. Get this guy up. That's unfortunate. That the regime, the major regime, will be able to take this IP tile, but what can you do? Can move in to threaten their capital city. There's not that many cards on it as is. Let's hope better logistics will fuel the tank up ahead. I will also nationalize the truck stations. You will sometimes encounter private transport hubs. Private assets in this game are just bad. They're inefficient. Public government assets are just much better. So you should always just nationalize them because, as you can see, it provides, this is damaged, but that basically provides half the truck points and half the range as an actual normal truck station. Very true to life. Can't raise no machine guns to guys on the city yet. Gonna wait for the construction and the industry still. Military is not able to discover anything actually relevant. The military council does do air research if you don't have an air council. Keep that in mind. And there is also something else I wanted to speak on. Right. When you click around hexes to see what's what, you have a selection here. Probably should have covered this in the same episode, but what can you do? I am very particular about always seeing only the assets in the hex I have selected. Please don't show all of the assets in the zone at the same time. It's just an absolute mess. So keep it on this. There's also some other options for sorting that are useful, but yeah, just this is the default basically. Yes, what the economy is all fine. The water's still going up despite the mine being turned off because this is drinkable, potable, right? I'm gonna fall back on this tile with this unit just to put some distance in between them because it would get wiped if it gets attacked again. Yeah, can't really move in on this. So I'm actually gonna... This is a savanna, so it does provide a little bit of entrenchment. A tile will have a maximum entrenchment and an initial entrenchment. I'm not sure why it's called A entrenchment. I don't know what the developer was on about. The developer is very quirky. And there's a lot that's just not very sensical. The initial entrenchment is how much entrenchment you're given the moment you enter. So if I move this motorized unit in here, it should have just 37 entrenchment at the start. Then it can climb up to 125. Good. But it's only like for infantry, right? It doesn't actually apply to the motorized. Only infantry may entrench, and walkers to a degree. And we have a pretty big militia stack from non-aligned marauders over here. Non-aligned is not even a regime, it's just empty land, basically. Pass the turn. And they attacked into the motorized stack, but because it was a pretty strong unit, we killed a few of them. It's covered mechanized artillery. Alright. The food stockpile has gone down, which is not great, but it's fine. The troops still have... They're only at the hungry stage, and at this point there isn't really anything wrong. It's just like the bad. It's the calm before the storm, I suppose, in a way. It's gonna quickly buy a lot of food and then balance it out with metals. So if you ever reached 0 food for 1 turn, this is what it looks like. Your troops will be hungry, and the readiness is gonna look pretty bad. But it's fine. Can easily bounce back from it, especially if your logistics are in order. And as we can see, much more logistical points going down the roads, especially with this being nationalized. Also gonna nationalize this. Balance it out with metal. And should be okay. The battle group tanks and the artillery can just dash down the road. The infantry can keep the city's garrison still. This is wildlife. Something else I forgot to do is to actually get rid of the absolutely dreadful graphics that the game presents for leaders. It's AI generated, and it is perhaps the ugliest thing I have ever seen in my life. Again, blame the developer. I don't have anything good to say about it. The developer did do a poll on his website about the AI art, and then he skewed the poll by giving more options in support of the thing he likes himself. So, you know. And then he said the poll was the victim of brigading. It's fucking comical. Need more machines. The approach just for the heart score. Don't want a mechanized artillery right now. We'll just pass the turn. Again, an attack that results in nothing. This has to do with health, quality of life. Reach the next level of heart. Another fight stratagem. That's a technology. Got to get that tech card. There we go. Where it goes away. This dome will start producing food come next turn now. Should be fine. It's actually in summer it's colder, okay. Summer it's colder and now it's all snow. So maybe farming here is not a good choice. The seasons are much too awkward for farming, that's new. I've seen that before. Very poor readiness on this unit, not sure what's up with that. Might just be able to attack next turn even without the GR troops. Industry is almost done. Battle by worker count. I'm gonna start that high command. Well, actually. Need more energy, but the fuel plant will take too much fuel. I'm gonna get that organic furnace going. Private industry very good here. I would love the bureaucratic office, but the power draw is much too big. I think it would be wisest to just start building barracks in all of our cities to help control them. This city already has a light industry, which is a great boon. Can I move that unit behind the militia stack? They can join together, maybe. The traits on this are not very good because the stats are absolutely inexistent. So you can just look at them and they die. So yeah, that's something. But the mage is encroaching continuously. Gonna try to get the city before the mage gets near us. This one's too far from them anyways. With enough infantry and enough tanks, we should be able to defeat them pretty easily. Say yes to that militia. Demagogue again, do nothing. The people that leave the zone, they just become free folk, so you can just get them back. Just gonna ignore the agitation. Because it was either democracy or meritocracy, and I don't want democracy at all costs. And also, the meritocratic role would have just failed, guaranteed. Full support, critical failure. Brilliant. This is one of the reasons why it's important to have good leaders in charge of zones. As you can see, this is a level 3 town, but it has like no quality of life, which is a pretty big problem, and it's why those bad events keep firing. So that is what this scenario looks like. Always be mindful to build your quality of life buildings, and don't upgrade the zone if you don't have to. On my end, it's just a bit of a bad habit from before those events were even part in the game. Part of the game. This looks to be fine. I will immediately upgrade the logistics with the trucks, just to keep that ball rolling. Not many oil deposits to speak of, which is not great. Looks like another fast turn after we do our spying. This might succeed. And it did. That's great. We'll have a lot of recon next time. Next turn, rather. Critical success, even better. Want some recon in that zone to see what the troop movements look like. Scrap this. The militant propagandist isn't very good, and it's a very good card to just scrap because it gives a lot of scrap points. Yeah, last turn. For some reason, the non-aligned keep attacking into that entrenched unit and essentially dying due to it. I have no problem with it though. Discovered the military council keeps discovering air technology. This is a very good card. The worker double shifts is tied to the government profile. It's a faction card. I'm just gonna play it. Basically what it means is If your factions are happy, and so we have a government faction in here that's happy. It's not a government faction. Is it a heart card then? It might be a heart card then instead of a government one. When your factions are really happy with you, they will just give you cards. Like for example, this one is really happy. So keeping factions happy does have some merits. The industry is finished and it will produce a lot more industrial points together with that extra industrial point card. The food is balanced out now too, which is great. Not many workers being recruited because the zone itself is not very loyal, but that's fine. Just declare war and barrage down. That's all I have. The militia is only really there to soak hits. The artillery can't get hit because it's a backline troop. And we've taken the city. I'm just gonna shell them for good measure to get more field testing on the artillery. The aforementioned field testing, as you use a model, you get more field testing, and when you make a new model based on it, you are able to improve it. Also start a scavenging asset. This is the regime and their infrastructure and troops. That we got those spies in, so we can see a lot more now. They're upping high command and they're still on officers 1. They don't have the second metal mine. And they are boxed in for us to take. This is a hunter miner, so the city is not that impressive. There's not really much to it. And that's all their expansion for now, it seems. So it should be very easy for us to take them down. We can even utilize this road they're building. That unit up. Gonna raise those independent machine guns that we have in every city. Gonna hold off on spending IP for the sake of buildings, and then we'll start building more troops. I'm gonna refuse the request for democracy because I don't want democracy. I will not be getting any council. Workers strike of 40 to 80% of them, but there's just not that many workers, so I'll just put it down. And now this fear will help reduce the rest. It's all looking good now. Not concerned about any units being here because the miner will most definitely want their city more than anything. Though I doubt they can actually take it. Even more casualties inflicted against those guys. Fuel deposit, that's very good. We can... This is critical because now we can exploit this extra fuel deposit to fuel a power plant, perhaps. A fate back and fate point issued. 2 technologies. Right. Let's see if we can assassinate our secretary real fast. No, we just haven't generated the card. Let's craft one of those. This is completely useless because it gives us mind and we don't use mind. It is not unrealistic to just get cars that aren't good. Play that. Crackdown on Unrest is very good. It's another one of those faction cards that you get if factions are happy. I'll play it in this zone because I want to build it up first. There we go, just wiped the Unrest away like it wasn't even there. Let's see then. Do I have any negative cards to play? Prestige damage is very bad. It reduces the amount of political points you get, but seeing as we have enough political points, I'll just take it. And then I'll use it to get the chain gun technology. As you can see, we have quite a few of these now. A new advisor is requested. This person's completely useless, so they can just be an advisor perfectly fine. Plundering in a zone. But all of the units I have here are pretty... I don't want to lose them, but I can't really afford the plundering to happen. I'll quickly get someone in charge so they can help. I'm not gonna upgrade the zone. Can I raise troops here? No. Can I strategically deploy at all? No. This is where having some units would have been really useful. I'll just buy the bullet and hope I don't lose the tank. I did not lose the tank. That's good. I only lost GR infantry, which is expendable. Solid. This will be another major over here, and we have that mountain border going for us, which is great. That's brilliant. We can just put some machine guns on the border and nothing will break it for a long, long time. I'm gonna go into this style with no supply just to quickly snack the hexes from the major. As I will move up to get that hex. I can't counterattack realistically. Man, it's just I'll start that anyways. As you can see, I basically won despite the odds being not even 2 to 1, and I've taken this perk for more people, which is big. I'm not too interested in fighting the... Oh, this is the Arachnid high here. Oh, that's not very good. I need to do something about that real quick. Can I get some light tanks going? I'm going to get another light infantry army. I will be attaching the tank to the light infantry. I will be raising another tank. I'm gonna go all in on this. Unit admin change HQ, second light infantry. And I will be recruiting a mercenary for the next turn. I'm just not gonna pick anything here. It's a waste of political power. You can just ignore this decision and the secretary will do it for you automatically at no cost. Alright. Looking good. The zone has not built its assets yet. This zone basically has built its assets yet. Can I quickly get the hospital? That's a lot of jungle and forest, so I think I will also get an organic furnace here. At level 1, the organic furnace has 1 hex range. So that is something to keep into consideration. There's also the scavenging furnace that turns scavenge into energy, but it's just not a very economical approach in my opinion. Everything is in order. It is turn 21, and we already have 4 cities under our control. Looking good so far. There's also some mountains here, it would seem. So we're in a pretty cozy position. Which regime doesn't seem to be doing anything of note right now. And fuel deposit we discovered is directly on the road, which is great. I don't want to tank. Okay, there are enough workers to just start building another asset. I'll just recruit them anyways, it's fine. I also want to call these governors and turn this into a regular zone so my cultural assimilation can go up. Cultural assimilation will dictate how quickly you recruit population. It is quite important, and the zone is becoming slowly loyal, so it will start going up. Once it's a regular zone, it will also get taxed, so we're gonna get those sweet food and credits from the private assets, right? Which will put us in a bigger positive on food. The industry point should cover the things we're building for now, I wager. Gonna sell some more of those rare metals. The metals can stay because we need them. Pass the turn. Over there we can see some OHQ units from the major. So they do have that army over there. They keep moving. They have built a road down to us, as luck would have it. So this might be a good setup for some combat now. Hydroponics useless. Medium tank. I'm not sure if this is actually that useful because it is quite expensive and just building more light tanks is a really good choice most often. That's good for the militia loss of faith because, well, it's just 3 fate points always. The Phantasma is good for recon, but otherwise not amazing. Yeah, so fate. This is... It essentially rolls to kill up to half of the population in a city. And that's a lot, but it does pay in kind with 9 fate points. It's definitely best to be played early when population is lower, but I just don't feel like I'm confident playing it because it might just strike the capital. And that would be really bad. As we can see, the prestige damage will be going down at a painful 1 per turn, and it's tanked RPP production by 8. Military can keep discovering. No models. Zone orders. Some public budget. Wages. I like to keep the wages at 3. It's quite low, but that's just how I roll with the autocracy profile. Not gonna make it a regular zone. This is good. Because it'll up meritocracy, which will suppress democracy. And also give us hard. The leader will be... Scapor, maybe? This is the other mercenary we raised, and he seems to not be amazed. I'll still put this guy in charge because he has more infantry tactics and offensive tactics. This is gonna affect the infantry and the tanks and both. And improvisation is really good. Lead from the front's bad because you might get him killed, but he doesn't learn very quickly, but he already has the skills we need. Start moving all those units to challenge those Arachnids, because the Arachnid regimes are incredibly dangerous. If you let them their own devices, they can become quite a big problem. Enemy unit over here on the park. Okay. I don't trust to attack into this too much. I can move this unit only back across where it came from, but it will be getting food and that's good enough. MGs on the same tile as the GR battle group. Just gonna merge them in and start pulling back the actual units for the inevitable combat. The pump jack also takes machines, but we've been fighting a lot of machines randomly in the turn events, which is fine. There's too many workers, so I'm just gonna spin those workers into doing a hospital. Zone and keep raising and go for a bureaucratic office. And we have that industry level 2, we have that metal coming in from the ruins and the mines, so it's now starting to ramp up the economy really fast. If you don't have metal mines, make sure you exploit your scavenging, because this is not negligible. 56 metal, 72, 58, it's more than it's nearly as much as a metal mine, more than this one. Something to keep in mind is that, as you can see, this recycling facility produces 50% more due to a rich area modifier. If you build a recycling facility in a ruin tile that is adjacent to one or more ruin tiles, you will be getting 25% extra scavenging speed for every adjacent ruin tile. So this is adjacent to 2 hexes, our capital and the northern ruins, so it is getting 50% to the scavenging modifier. This does deplete the scavenge faster, but that's fine, because we're getting it faster at no extra cost. And everything else is a-okay. This is an MG infantry army, so it is better at defending than attacking. So I'm going to station it on the border with the major, I believe. Do I have anything to deal with unrest in cards? Not really. Can I assassinate that leader? Yes. Secretary, try. Failure. Try again. Try again. Success. Fine. After 2 critical failures, we finally rolled enough to get rid of our secretary. Expended a lot of political power, but we didn't need to spend the political power and bureaucratic points on getting the Interior Council for those human resources cards. If we're lucky, the AI might also build a road down here to us, so we can also push up. They're upgrading their metal mine, which means they're trying to go for industry. They could just build another metal mine here, but whatever. They're going for solar paneling for power. Our civilization level tanked down because we turned these into regular zones. And the civilization score is based on all of your regular zones. But that's fine. We need a power plant, but we haven't actually discovered the power plant because Economic Council is just getting all the wrong things right now. It would stand to reason we need to focus on scavenging then for energy. Organic furnace up and running here. This is some pretty dense forestry here, so I would also like to build one here. The solar paneling is very good, but it does take a lot comparatively. Razor can stay put. Troops moving up. Recruits going up as well. That's the turn. I would definitely advise that in a multiplayer game, one takes longer to look around and read the reports. As well, in the scenario this is relevant for, the multiplayer game I do has like 7 people at least. So you only really get your turn once a day. So you have some pretty solid time to sit there and do your decisions. Security, quality of life is too low. University discovered. Alright. Cap mark was it? We have a lot of troops here, so it should be fine. Success. Okay. Solid. I don't want democracy at all. I'll just do the fist choice. Further suppress mind. And then I'm gonna support this. I'm gonna go for the government option at the cost of the guy being upset. Yeah, I'll just take this one too. And I will play a bonus card that we picked along the way on the SHQ leader. He cannot play it on himself, so we need the Human Relations Council. Okay. That's I clicked the wrong button. This is not what it. Secretary in the organization, and I want an interior council so we can keep our leaders happy by bribing them. As one does. Move the tanks up, finally have some recon. That's the queen. Has very big stats, not much hard attacks, so the tanks will really handle her well. The infantry is there just to hold the line for the tanks so they don't get encircled or something. Surviving AI is still just doing nothing because the sentinels are blind and AI does not like attacking into the fog of war. Gonna raise that machine gun here in this city too. Should help with the unrest. Move the tank back, move the artillery back. I'll start moving up this infantry. This one can stay. Truck station's complete, so the war effort should be supplied fine. Image storage has going down. I am going to be mothballing the airbase because I have no use for these planes, and I'll also just straight up scrap them to recover that ammo, fuel, metal. Their range is just so bad, it's unbelievable. That should leave us with a lot of spare workers to put towards anything we want. I believe I'll just be getting the High Command Council going. Should fine. For now. I'll just pass the turn. Discover the turboprop engine, the military council, missing all the important things. The Council for Human Resources, the Interior Council, is also the one that generates your leader cards. So if you don't have enough leader cards, get an Interior Council. They are coincidentally the guys that gave us the Special Ops guy. Although we do have Special Ops unlocked because we are an autocracy, and that's part of our regime fit. Ideally, we would tap that 70 government so we can get the central computer, but it's fine. And here, the reason why I really want 70 or above heart is because of the charge stratagem, which is just really good. 80% infantry attack, and the only real downside is morale and experience growth, which is fine. And minus defense, but if you're just on the offensive, that's just really good. I would like to know what sort of units the enemy regime has. Ideally, so I'm gonna check. They only have normal infantry with an automatic rifle. As do we. Their stats are 64, 124. Their weapon design is better. They also have more field testing. So that's unfortunate. And they do have the charge stratagem on. So they are. What do you mean they have the charge stratagem on? The AI is using a stratagem it has not unlocked. That's absolutely jarring. Well, it's fine, I suppose, because, well, realistically speaking, you shouldn't really be playing with AI in this game anyways, you should be playing with other people. But, you know. It is certainly very, very awkward. I'm gonna up the recruitment. That's not holy. Do not touch this. I'm gonna give zone orders for more recruits, and I'll even start paying for them. And I'll touch down that worker salary, but I'll up the public budget. As you see, it tanked down the happiness, but it's still pretty high. Again, going against Supreme Command. Gonna hire a junior. What does Interior Council use? Give me a second to check what skills Interior Council uses. Interior Council uses administration for all of its skills, so it's bound to intelligence. This is a cap 3 with okay intelligence, and I don't really see where else I would use him. I mean, he's really good at war. That's true. So he might actually do well as a tank commander. So I'll just... Do I recruit someone else? Let's check if I can play that card. No, I can't. This guy would be a better tank commander, but I'll just go ahead and put him in charge here and leave him here for the duration of this game, if it doesn't die by then, naturally. I just have to. It's not really much of a choice right now. Now I can actually go to directors and make sure my Supreme Commander doesn't just revolt against me. As you can see, the money we gave them really made them happy because their egoism is so high. This here doesn't really matter. The only important thing you need to pay attention to is egoism, because that means they're really easy to bribe. Running as any proper autocracy should be running. The city is doing okay. I built that organic scavenging, I did. A metal mine at level 2 would be quite good here, because it would enable us a higher industrial level eventually. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and get that. We have the machines in stockpile. These guys finished everything, so they can afford to build a recycling asset. These guys also finished everything nearly, so they can build a scavenging asset. Style over. The oil drill's also ready. Yeah, that's fine. Not gonna go that way. Gonna nationalize the transport hub immediately. And will I do anything here? There is some forest we could use. That's a lot of heavy forest to use. I'm gonna build a road going into this forest to specifically use it for energy because we're being really unlucky with our technology. This is not how it usually goes. So we need to scrape by with what we have. This is just... Hellraiser can sit pretty. I declare war right now. The Arachnids themselves are quite dangerous, but again they have low hard attack. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna declare war. Gonna get the front line on these plains and mountains. And I'm gonna punch through with the tanks and I'll try to encircle the queen. There we go. Arachnids are incredibly dangerous if allowed to evolve, but the queen is the thing that actually produces their units, right? So once you kill the queen, they are defanged, practically speaking. I'll move that militia stack there. I can take that mountain, but it's not important right now. SMG can stay. I want human resources to be a priority and interior policies. And taxation is an afterthought. We make our money by just selling resources to the market.
Roger that.
There we go. This unit can just stay here. They have the recon attached to the OHQ. What would be a good choice would be to ring up model and switch their priorities to designing.
Copy that.
And then request designing a recon buggy that isn't hot flaming trash. Because the buggy you start with has 5 mm of armor. It has no hit points basically. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make one with the better machine gun, some actual plating. What's the diff? You can always see the cost difference here. The 50 mm plating would actually be so much stronger. Then I'll just give it a heavy diesel on top though, why not? Well, doesn't need a heavy diesel, but I think it'll roll low on the engine, so I'll just give it a... And once we've done it, we can also just select it here and build the prone model we do have. Manpower is going up quite slowly. Not a lot of people being recruited. Despite the bonus. Normality is high though. Peasants finished. That, yep, already did all of that building. I would like to move this unit away, but it just doesn't have the fuel because it's in a blue area and it's not really getting it. In the blue area, you only get... in the red area, you only get food. In the blue area, you only get food and ammo. Because look, it's receiving ammo, but it's not really receiving fuel. That's requesting. I'm just gonna pass the turn. Another fuel deposit. Finally, the power plant. And Phantasma, another Phantasma. Wow. Okay. With this newfound gusto, I'm gonna go to the Eco Council and I'm gonna change their priorities. And I'll tell them to research some decisions. Don't even need to check. I have barracks, I have MGs immediately done. Morale going up is pretty easy, just need to not move the unit. Blackmail. Just gonna refuse. What are they gonna do? Go to war? Lamau. Now we can kill the queen. Do I want to use that? Yeah, I'll just use the infantry, it doesn't matter. Immediately retreated and surrendered because he got overrun. There we go. Is actually you can go here, you can go here. Keep moving. That's awkward. One of those was it. Ah, I attacked them so they don't have the movement points anymore, that's why. You can take the mountain, it's fine. Sit. It's okay. Five. Readiness, just look at them wrong and they die, basically. Fuck with the infantry. Attack with the infantry because they have low readiness. That's a unit feat, the battle banner, and there we go. Just roll them. That's the major issue now. Get this artillery close to the combat just in case. Everything is being built accordingly. Cultural adoption score isn't really going up here, as loyalty just reached 50. You need at least 50 loyalty for cultural adoption to go up. So, to keep that in mind. That's done now, the workers are all in place. I would like a bureaucratic office first. Yeah, I'll take bureaucratic office first, actually. And I'll also get the bureaucratic office here. Could I upgrade this? I could. Can I upgrade this one? I could. Do I have the power for it? No. I'll just hold off then. The mine itself will also take more power. It's definitely a balancing act. I'm gonna upgrade this organic furnace also. And model is almost done with the buggy and we'll have it on our desk next turn. Soldier morale just went up anyways because we're playing hard. Then we have our new buggy. Discovered APCs, got combat armor too, so that's something for our military council to finally research. And still keep 60 on discovery because I would also like to get boss small arms to make our infantry really good. Oh, military research. Combat armor, please. Can't stick that way. Crack down with troops. 3 autocracy points. Let's see now. It is entirely possible that the enemy AI squares up with light tanks. They do have an industry too, and they do have a level 2 metal mine at level 8 ease of mining. The ease of mining affects how quickly you dig things out of the ground. The higher the ease of mining, the better. Ease of mining cannot be higher than 9 and lower than 1. You can expand deposits if you run out, but it'll take down the ease of mining, and you cannot expand the deposit that's only got level 1 ease of mining, so keep that in mind, right? So a level 8 metal mine, it's more than this, because you can just expand it. That's 6 digits of metal right there. I would like to... That's just normal arachnids, but are you here? Please? That's just normal arachnids. Okay, the arachnids are decapitated, so they're not a threat anymore to me, which is good. I don't want to attack it here, because it will just retreat in here. I want to get that tile, so I can take this tile and then just wipe them. This would be good, because it's extra population in the city, but it's fine. I'll just let it be surviving a high skirmish with the major. We have a lot of IP. So what I would like to do is I'd like to up the truck station in this city. And I will be using this city as the platform with which I'm building sealed road by mistake. To build that road. The platform at which I go to war with the major. A sealed road takes less action points from the trucks to move on, so it only extends range. It doesn't actually make your supply network better if you are managing your range properly, so there's no reason to build it really. On small planets, that is. That's the Eco Council. It's gonna happen next turn. Okay. I am going to make a medium tank for the eventuality that there is actually a light tank coming in from the enemy. And I'm maybe gonna have only one independent unit of these bad boys, and I'm gonna put some pretty solid armor and gun on it. It doesn't have to be very fast. Speed is not really my concern, because it's just meant to fight the enemy and hold its ground where it matters. Now that I made it in the blueprint UI, which is much easier, I can just go over here, select, and make a brand new with these settings. That's how you do your models, right? If we check our buggy that we designed, inherited the same scores and didn't have any field testing, so it's quite the same, but it does have that -5 AP cost, which is solid. I have that network here, so I'm just gonna raise the buggies over here. You can click this counter to favorite certain unit type, so I like my independent MGs, I like my independent motorized artillery, I like my recon. What else do I like? I like my independent motorized flak, just in case, and my independent light tank battalion. I also would like a staff council, but I can't afford it by one political power, so what I'm gonna do, because it costed me political power to ask for a new council, it would be a waste to just turn back, so I'll just use one fate point to get political power and make the staff council. The staff council will unlock new military organizations, will have new OHQs. So here in the OHQ section, raising a brigade, we can see we have light infantry, MG. Curiously, there's no light tank unit formation here because we have to discover it and research it. And once we get that, we'll have a light armor army, which will have 5 stacks of 50 tanks and a HQ card of 20 tanks for a total of 270 light tanks in one unit, under one leader. So we don't have to faff about continuously attaching them to certain units. Gonna raise that. You can see that the initial buggy is still present here, I don't want it to show up anymore. It's obsolete. I'll just render it obsolete. And now it doesn't show up anymore. So there's no confusion. Which is good. I would like another light infantry army, and I'm gonna attach one of the buggies to it. I'm gonna raise another light tank, and I'm gonna attach the light tank to the infantry army. This should be solid. I think it should be perfectly fine. We might not have enough IP production in the bank to actually continue all of our building projects. That's a risk I'm willing to take. I'm actually gonna cancel the truck station and continue it next time. Just so I'm sure we don't just run out of IP and then it all halts to a crawl. I hope to move this recon unit away finally from here, maybe. Okay. Can move up our infantry army up. Move the tank, move up that recon buggy. This tank's not gotten its fuel. We're gonna cut this off, gonna attack. Ish, they won't get killed because the tanks don't always overcome their hit points with their attack, right? But they don't have anywhere to retreat, so the spiders capitulate. Now we can fall back in here. This militia unit can just sit pretty in this mountain. Work on this guy here. And that'll wipe out the Arachnids from our doorstep. Finally can move this guy away. I want him here on the border just so I'm sure everything's a-okay. Gonna block logistics from going here unless requested also. Office done. IP looking really good. Okay. We'll upgrade that truck station. The reason why I'm upgrading this truck station is because I have a level 3 truck station here, right? But when my supply actually reaches my city, it gets throttled by the dinky level 1 truck. You can see here that there is a refocusing penalty if you look closely to read. Essentially what this means is you cannot extend all of the logistical points from a level 3 truck station with a mere level 1 truck station. You will need those assets to have equal capacity if you want to maintain the same pressure going down the road. Which is why I want to upgrade the truck station here, because I want to use this town as the logistical launching point for this invasion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And when I capture this tile, I'm gonna put a level 3 supply base. And then we can reach their capital just fine, I think. I will be ignoring this because this is forest and very difficult terrain to fight in, especially for the tanks. The heavy forest debuffs them with 70% attack, and the normal forest smacks them with a 50% attack. Hey, this guy needs an army, but I haven't raised one because I don't have the manpower. I would like to call this governor and up the recruit sign-up bonus by a whole lot because we can afford it after all. Just smack that on. I will happily take meritocracy to suppress democracy even harder. I didn't even read what that event actually did, hold on. There is a tab here somewhere that goes into right decision archive. Critical failure unrest increased by 40% in Grimsel. It's not ideal. I'm gonna raise another independent machine gun here, and once the unrest has gone down, I'm just gonna move the machine gun on the mountain tire here. And I'll also maybe put down an anti-tank gun just in case. This GI unit can just keep moving up. I would like this OHQ to handle this front because again it is the MG OHQ. You can just sit there on the riverbank. I could take the ruin, but I don't have supply here. I'm just gonna sit on the riverbank. It's a plains, but it's across a river, so it's fine. Then I'll hold this forest tiles here. And the light tanks and the GR can work nearby the OHQ. That infantry card here. Preparing for a war is certainly something you need to take into account ahead of time. It is not something to be taken lightly. Enforcement, heart, just plain good decision. Staff Council Director, recruit a junior and see if he's good. I love gambling. Okay, this guy is not good. We need war. Let's recruit a military guy. This is supposedly a military leader, but they lack the war stat and they excel in intelligence. Okay. I don't have any other. What about the cover tops guy? The cover tops guy is actually kind of okay, funnily enough. But, you know. I'm gonna postpone this because if I'm not mistaken, I have an economic leader who I need to replace anyways. Yeah. Well, I can always like shuffle the leaders about. I'm just gonna put. What am I gonna put in charge? I mean, he's the staff council, so it doesn't need to be incredibly good, the leader in charge of it. It's not research or anything, but it'd still be good if they were actually decent at their damn job. Can I put this cover tops guy in charge?
Aye, aye, sir.
Because he does have the most amount of high command. The staff council uses the high command skill, which is tied to war. So this guy has 20 because he has 20. Right. That one, not gonna learn. Not gonna go much more than that, but that's fine enough, I think. We can just replace them later. I don't have a choice as it stands anyways. I want to discover OBs. I don't want to operationalize them. This is discovering them, this is researching them. Occupation is just cards. Posture is cards for your troops in the field. Lock this in. Customizing formation types is another completely different thing. You can use points that the staff council gives you to customize your formations.
Yes, sir.
And the light infantry brigade can use. This is a. They have a lot of experience in combat, despite their very good intelligence rating. I believe the leader might spend their experience on irrelevant stats, non-research, but they are Cup 5, so it's fine. I'm just gonna postpone this and try to get another leader in charge of the unit. Because the other guy is just bad at his job. And the other woman is just too good at its job, so... Not much metal going on, which is unfortunate. High command's done, light industry too. Avenging worker. I'm checking to see how many public jobs there are in relation to the worker count. I don't want to start building if there's too big of a gap, because then they won't be able to hire enough to satisfy it. The gap here is not even 2000, so I think that should be fine. And how I'm gonna do this is just gonna go from the city and build dirt roads out of it. Then I'm gonna right click, traffic sign, select city, and block all except requested on those 2 tiles. So we don't waste a bunch of logistical points just going down useless roads. How is research coming along? Did I not issue research? I did not research. Okay. I just forgot about it. And combat armor's very, very slowly coming up. Alright. The city does have the ability to get more stuff going on. So I'm just gonna do that. It seems the seasons are really all over the place. I can't really judge if I can or I cannot start normal farming anywhere. My capital has an overflowing amount of workers. Gonna go for the agricultural facility. Gonna need more machinery though, because this is 4 total. I'll just buy it. Let's check if we have any military intel on this regime. Major, Galan. Overview is not really useful here. Trade details not useful. Economic details. They only have 33,000 workers. We have 70,000, so we dwarf their economy. That is good to know. I am going to try to further spy on them. As we can see, this leader's much better at cover tops, learned rather quickly. Let's see if we can get some spies in. Critical failure means they'll... Critical failure means that they will take opinion malus, and now they're at 0, so they're definitely going to be declaring war next turn. Which is really bad. Well, it's not that bad because they only have this on the border. That's not a big deal, really. Get that tank in position. That artillery there. Defense is okay, I guess. Just gonna raise an extra independent armored off the bat. Where is it? I did not hurt it. Favorite. Ah, it's at the top. There we go. I also want the other light tank to be considered obsolete and this one regular. Okay, and I'm just gonna use this in tandem without an OHQ for the time being. Just manpower issue, really. Finally, more recruits coming in. I would like to issue recruitment orders to this town, but I'm out of political power currently. Alright, that's been a long time now, so I will be stopping here. Next time, we'll be looking at actually fighting the major regime, so that should be proving quite interesting.